Hi girls! Today I'm going to be going over English 1 Semester 1 Week 1, Activity 1.2. So our learning targets for today are to identify and analyze how an author's use of language creates a distinct voice. And we'll of course be going over what that means. And to cite textual evidence of voice to support inferences about a character. And so you might be thinking, voice, how can I find out the voice of a person, a speaker, or a character if I can't hear them? All I could do is read what they're writing. But there is such thing as a literary voice, meaning the style of writing, the way that you say things, it varies depending on who you are as a writer. So we'll be learning more about that. Your learning strategies for today are quick write, graphic organizer, read around, close reading, marking the text, and then the last two, since we're doing this remotely, won't be something that we work on. So number 1 says creating voice, quick write. When you think of pizza, what comes to mind? Write a paragraph describing pizza and showing your attitude toward it. You will come back to this later. So you're supposed to write a paragraph about what you think of pizza. You're trying to describe pizza and try to incorporate your feelings about it. Like, what's your opinion of pizza? What's your, what do you like best about pizza? How does pizza make you feel? When it says your attitude toward it, it's talking about, like, do you love pizza? Do you hate pizza? Like, how do you feel when it comes to pizza? And so that's what you're going to be writing about. On the side here, it gives the literary terms voice, tone, and diction. These things are all going to be on your exam review at the end of the semester, so they're important to pay attention to. So voice is a writer's or speaker's distinctive use of language to express ideas as well as his or her persona. So that's why it's different for each writer, because when you express yourself, you do it in a way that's unique to you based on the language that you choose to use and the way you choose to use it. So tone is the writer's or speaker's attitude toward the subject. Tone is conveyed through the person's choice of words and details. So that's like they hate it, they love it, it annoys them, it frustrates them, it excites them. There's many different ways somebody can feel about what they're talking about. And then diction refers to a writer's word choices, which often convey voice or tone. So diction just means word choice. Think of the word dictionary, okay? Dictionary is full of words, right? So diction is like the first part of that word, dictionary, diction. So you know that when it's talking about diction, it's talking about word choice, just like how a dictionary has plenty of words to choose from, okay? So this says, if several different people were asked to describe pizza, you might expect to get a variety of responses. Even though the subject would be the same, the descriptions might be quite different because each person uses a different tone and voice. Tone is a writer's or speaker's attitude toward a subject, and it's created through specific word choice or diction. Voice is voice is a result of a writer's or speaker's use of language, and it may be so unique that it's almost like a fingerprint, a sign of this writer's or speaker's identity. This fingerprint results from 3 central aspects of how language is used in the text. So we have diction, which, as I mentioned before, is word choice intended to convey a certain effect. So when you're choosing words, you have to be very careful to use words that actually carry weight. Syntax is sentence structure, the arrangement of words and order of grammatical elements in a sentence. So that's like, are your sentences complex? Are they simple? Do they have a lot of detail? Are they very basic? Imagery, the words or phrases including specific details and figurative language that a writer uses to represent persons, objects, actions, feelings, and ideas descriptively by appealing to the senses. So the way I like to explain this is that imagery is kind of like the words and details that go along with sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, your 5 senses, okay? Now it says, Experienced writers choose language carefully, knowing that readers draw conclusions or inferences based on their diction, imagery, and syntax. So an inference, which is up here under academic vocabulary, is to come to a conclusion about ideas or information not directly stated. So it's basically like reading between the lines. If somebody says something but you can kind of hear their true meaning behind what they say, that would be inferencing. So, following is one person's description of pizza. What inferences can you draw about speaker 1 based upon the speaker's voice? Write your inferences in the graphic organizer that follows. Cite details of the speaker's voice that lead you to that conclusion. So I'm going to do this one with you, and then there I think are 3 more that I'm going to ask you to do independently using the way that I'm showing you how to do it, okay? So speaker 1. Eating pizza is rather like embarking on a transcontinental excursion. You embark on the journey without being quite certain of what you will encounter. A well-made pizza contains the aromatic essence of fresh basil, oregano, and garlic that beckon invitingly. Once you bite into a perfectly sliced pizza, your taste buds awaken and celebrate. When properly prepared, pizza is an extraordinary culinary creation. So that person was very detailed. So now we have this chart, okay? You have the speakers. So there are 4 speakers in total, and I'm going to do the first one with you. So that means that there will be 3 that you're expected to do by yourself. So in this column, we have inferences about the speaker. So what can you infer about their age, their status, and their preferences? Diction is what word choices does the speaker make, formal or informal, and please try to use an example. Are the sentences long, short, simple, or complex? What words and phrases include sensory details? Remember those 5 senses to create images. And then tone is what can you conclude about the speaker's attitude toward the subject. So first I'm going to make inferences. Well, to begin with, I think that this person is probably pretty well educated because they're using some kind of advanced diction. So person is well educated as shown. I'm just going to make it like, it doesn't have to be complete sentences since it's a small chart. I'm going to put diction as my way of knowing that that's how I know that they're well educated. They are likely, I'm going to guess they're probably grown, or they're probably teens or older due to the mature way that they write. And they clearly like pizza. Oh, they probably love pizza. They described it in a very loving sort of way. So I just described something about their status, which is that they're well-educated people. They're probably teens or older, also as a result of their diction and sentence structure, so syntax. And they love pizza, just because of the way they described it. So then, for diction, it says, what word choices, that means the specific word choices, does the speaker make, formal or informal? I'm going to say formal, and then I'm going to give a few examples. So they said, embarking on a transcontinental excursion. Embarking on a transcontinental excursion. Another example of a formal thing that they used was aromatic essence. So they used really formal language, they used really advanced language. It really showed that they had a lot of knowledge about how to write well and descriptively. So syntax, are the sentences long, short, simple, or complex? I keep reading those backwards, I have no idea why. So here we have a fairly long-ish sentence, but it's simple. Another one here that's fairly long. This one includes a lot of details. So I'd say that for the most part, the sentences are long and somewhat complex, but they're not too complex. And And then imagery, we're going to use exact words and phrases to that give us some kind of sensory detail, meaning they appeal to one of the 5 senses. So they say the aromatic essence of fresh basil, and that appeals to smell. Because aromatic means something that has a strong aroma. Fresh basil, oregano, and I think it was garlic, maybe? Yep. It also uses, once you bite into a perfectly sliced piece of pizza, your taste buds awaken and celebrate. So it describes taste. Taste buds awaken and celebrate. Oh, that's 2 words, not 1. Okay. Then finally, what can you conclude about the speaker's attitude toward the subject? I'm going to say the speaker is very appreciative of well-made pizza. And I know that because all the diction they used to describe pizza was positive. So there I've already completed the first speaker. So all you have to do is do that same thing, fill out each box to fill out the rest of the speakers. And they have these guiding questions, so if you forget what each of the things means, just feel free to use those guiding questions to figure out what it is you're supposed to be looking for. So here it says, inferences are only justifiable if they could be supported by textual evidence. Discuss your conclusions. Okay, we're not doing discussions. So, some of your inferences are more supported by evidence from the text, whereas some are a little bit less supported. It's asking you to rank them, but we're not doing that part, or this part. So here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make one inference about each speaker, and then we're going to go in and fill in the rest of the chart with speaker 2, speaker 3, and speaker 4, okay? Once you're done filling in that chart with all those details about the different speakers, we are all the way done with that activity. This part is about group discussion norms. Since we're doing things online, we don't have to worry about group discussions, so just ignore that. It's not important. So once again, you have 1, 2, 3 speakers that you have to make one inference about each, and then you have to fill in this chart using specific details from what the speakers say. Please use my example as a model for what to do. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next lesson so that we can continue on with your week 1. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.